Good morning, patients, and welcome to your appointment with Dr. Ferdinand Emiel. Please leave your daily stresses and worries outside, grab your go-to cozy drink, and sit back to enjoy our time together. And leave a comment to let me know how you're doing, and also what you picked as your drink for today. I had a lovely, relaxing day myself. In fact, I did not go out at all. I'm slowly piecing my bag together for the trip, and so I figured, why not keep the good times going and end on a high note, right? And as such, my cozy drink is a second cocktail. Anyway, like I said in part 2 of the Senar playthrough, I am recording this in the sort of Back to the Future-esque timeline where the video will come out after I'm back from my holiday away, but the recording itself happens before. And with that coming, I'm already very excited to tell you all about it on next week's appointment. Next week at the time of release, of course, but not at the time of recording. Because this ski trip has been really a yearly thing for me for the last 5 years or so, and it's always a lot of fun regardless of the weather. Anyway, as you can probably tell, we are stepping away from Chants of Senar, and we are starting the game The Guardian of Nature, to hopefully make it a bit easier for me to edit and to put it out in the couple of days I have before the appointment for this video here. So anyway, here is the Steam description for it. The Guardian of Nature is a hand-drawn, size-changing adventure. Embark on a magical journey with botanist Henry. Use your size-changing ability to explore nature big and small and solve solarpunk puzzles to put nature back in order. And while I was going about the settings and getting ready to record, I've noticed the sound cuts off whenever I don't have the game window selected. So let me quickly disappear before we start, just in case there is an opening cutscene immediately. I would not want anyone to miss something. So there we go.
On an island and beneath the mist is a place where nature in perfect balance happens to exist. Covered with trees, plants and animals so fine, overlooked by the giant tree of life as old as time. Its roots wind down far and deep into the ground, wrapped by mycelium, fungal threads all around, vital networks connecting the forest and its vegetation, enabling growth and warning others in case of vexation. These mycelial networks, so precious and vast, have been protected for generations by those who want them to last. By the guardians of nature, who can change in size and have learned how to harness the energy that mycelium provides. For thousands of years, the island was unscathed until one day it was facing a big threat. So one guardian of nature was about to find out that his most important adventure was about to start.
Well then, I will say that was quite unexpected. I mean, the hand-drawn aspect was mentioned, but I did not expect the rhyme and the rhythm that they gave to the text, to the intro. I really do hope that it sticks around, to be honest. And as someone who loves nature, both the one outside my window, there we go. On this island, everything is connected above and below the ground. Behind every corner, wonders are waiting to be found. This is the story of Henry, a guardian of nature, and his magical, size-changing adventure. So even the tutorials, if you want to call it that, the text boxes are rhyming, which makes sense. You want to keep the same pacing, right? Discoveries and hints are placed in the Book of Nature that we can access right here. And yeah, that's it. I love nature. I have quite a few plants myself, so I am quite curious to see what's on offer in this game and how they make the play around nature. And also them mentioning collected items are placed in the backpack for later use. We can access with Y. I am playing on a controller, by the way, which was recommended. Yeah, they've mentioned mycelium, which is not something I have heard much about in any media that is not specifically dedicated to fungi. I do have some awareness of it from fungi relevant to human health, like Aspergillus or even penicillium, which is much more well known, and from where we get penicillin, of course, as the name suggests. And I will admit I have watched documentaries on mycelium. Yes, I am a big old dork for these things. Please go on. The Tree of Life has always been the greatest miracle that Henry has ever seen. When its giant roots and mycelium are connected, all of nature is well protected. Very nice. And also, on top of, I suppose it wants us to use our item here, on top of what I already know about it from external sources and from work. Well, I suppose it would be from studies anyway. I'm so sorry I skipped that. Henry guards nature by collecting seeds to heal the land in case of future needs. The Guardians knew generation by generation that one day seeds would hold the key in case of devastation. Yes, but specifically for... Oh, and the power goes out. That's never fun. Specifically for mycelium, or for fungus in general anyway, or single-celled organisms in a certain way. Okay, so we go back to no power. Before med school, I studied cell and molecular biology, but even with all of that, believe me, I will not even try to explain the fungus. Just trust me when I say that mycelium is really cool. Guardians need something to power their acts of preservation, pipes they use to transport energy beyond their imagination. Endless energy is what they found in the mycelium connecting everything underground. So which way do we go, left or right? Well, there's a water can here, so we will start with that, of course. And let's water our... Nothing to do here, but those flowers down here, and we still cannot do anything about it. Well, we'll come back to it, that's fine. Just like trees underground, fungi link flowers and herbs all around. Mycelium shares nutrients to all the plants it connects, also warning them in case of dangerous threats. And yes, that is true. That does remind me that with chemical signals, trees and plants that are connected through the mycelium network, just like we can see here, actually, it's a beautiful representation of it. So we're unable to go down because the ladder is broken. It allows trees and plants to communicate with one another, and that's what they're saying there about the threats and how they can warn each other. Use the map in the Book of Nature to revisit locations more quickly. In the Book of Nature. Aha, so we can travel to different points. So we have some fast travel, perfect. And I suppose right now we should be right on the left here of the house. So anyway, let's keep going and let's explore that other small cavern we had right outside, because we cannot go down anyway. Right here. And let's see what we have. So the acorns from the squirrel, I suppose, that was in the other room. But I am sorry about your pile. I need those items shortly. Can I grab that acorn? I cannot. And this would be where we would restore power. So we have our first task, or our first quest, I suppose, or detail of a quest. I mean, it was said that we had to restore the power, but now we know we have to find the battery first. And twigs. So it's not about collecting a ton of stuff. So everything that we find, I'm sure, will be useful in one way or another. From the ocean deep to the smallest pond, water enables life on the island and far beyond. When it's there, everything will flourish. Like in Henry's garden, the flowers will nourish. Yes, the source of all life. What do we have here? A small raft. Can we say manned? Manned by a frog? And seemingly a point of view which I'm sure would be beautiful to look at, but right now we do not have power. So unfortunately, we'll have to go back. And I will say, I mean, it's only been a few minutes, but oh, you know what? I am forgetting something. We will fill our water can here, and then we can water our plants. But just the music that they've been using as background, it's not too much, it's not encroaching, it's not a driving beat, it's just out there in the back, just to give the atmosphere of the game a bit extra. So let's water these plants. And we cannot grab it back. So I suppose we're done with it then. And my guess is the twigs that we grabbed will be useful for this one here. And it absolutely is. So far so good. It's a nice slow introduction to the game. And I'll be honest, I'm just getting lost myself and it's something to say this early on, but I'm getting lost myself in listening to the music and looking at the environment. It is truly a good looking, I will say, game, in the sense of the drawings themselves are really pretty to look at. Mushrooms are the tip of mycelium you can see. In essence, the source of spores to be set free. When Henry sees such fruits, he is in the know. There is a vast network of mycelium just down below. Yes, that's it. The mushrooms that we see, that we eat, those are the fruiting bodies of the fungus. Good morning, Mr. Earthworm. A very important part of the cycle. And keyhole, we have a key. And there we have our batteries, or some of them anyway. Guardians store the mycelium network's energy by using batteries, a true marvel of technology. They put a backup system in place many units strong, a safeguard for times when something goes wrong. Like just about now, it would seem. And that's our lever. There you go. Not quite. Okay, so our first true puzzle then. Okay, so I have to actually roll the joysticks on the controller to... It's not just about going left and right. So let's see, we need the battery pack, right? So let's light this one up. It's quite rough to get the right. Alright, perfect. Let's get the battery pack up. And that clearly did not work. So do we have to turn everything on at once then? Is that a possibility? Can we do it? And it seems we can. And there we have it. Perfect. That is a happy Henry. So I mentioned I have a few interior plants of my own, and it's ongoing at the moment. There is some good and some bad, I will say. I don't know if any of you are familiar with snake plants. It makes sense that they would flower, but for some reason it's never really crossed my mind. I never thought about snake plants flowering, but the small ones, the little ones I have, are currently blooming. They started producing the stems and budding quite a while ago. Let's read this. Squirrels are as busy as they can be, hiding their treasures oh so carefully. When burying and hiding nuts for none to see, squirrels can forget them, accidentally planting a tree. I don't know if you are well acquainted with squirrels wherever you are, but over here it is almost they're almost as numerous as rats or as pigeons. They are all over the place. For a fox family, a den is their home. During the day they sleep, but at night they roam. Bringing in food from afar, they enrich the ground, helping mycelium to spread the nutrients all around. That is, I will say, adorable. What's the name for would you call a baby fox a cub? Or is there a specific word for it? And yes, that is the nutrient cycle, where the carnivores will eat the herbivores, and then they will produce waste for the plants, for the herbivores to eat again. We are on the other side of the ferry, if you want to call it that. But it's absolutely useless because we're not even there yet. So yes, my snake plant has started flowering recently enough, and it's the most adorable thing ever. It's very, very cute. It's this terribly long stem, or gigantic stalk with a ton of teeny tiny flowers on it. And the only issue there, and pardon my French here, but it makes my apartment smell like a full can of ass, if I can put it. Alright, so thank you, Mr. Squirrel, you're blocking the way. But I don't have the battery anyway, so I figure we don't really have anything to do here. But yes, it smells. Horrible might be a bit strong, but it is not a very pleasant smell. But the very interesting thing about it, though, is that it only smells during the night. The Guardians pass down their wisdom that nothing lives in isolation. In essence, fungi and forests share a crucial relation. Henry was chosen to be the island's warden, from the farthest place and up to his garden. Let's see, let's look at the pictures. So I suppose that's some kind of family, well, I hope it's not a family tree because it's quite very connected. So let's call it a family photo then. Yeah, it makes sense, I suppose, that it only smells during the night, although it's very, very interesting. Because it starts opening, the buds open in the middle of the afternoon around 3 p.m. or so. But it only starts smelling roughly around 6 p.m. And then the fragrance floats off in the morning around 8 a.m. And I mean, if you're a desert plant or an arid environment plant, there we have our battery. So now we can go back and find a way to get rid or to move the squirrel. But I have a plan, I have an idea. There's a patch in our garden that might be used for it, and it might encourage the squirrel to move away. Yeah, if you're in an arid environment, you would want to bloom at night because then you're out of the scorching sun, so the flowers themselves don't get burned. But also, I can imagine the pollinators, like the bees we have here, would be more active at night, probably. And there it goes. Well, good morning, Mr. Squirrel. Thank you for letting me in my own house or my own shed. And there we have it. And also, the smell itself, that it smells so strongly, also very much makes sense because if it's a desert or an arid environment, then you are somewhat isolated, probably. So you have to reach far if you want to find other signs of life. And so if you smell strongly, then you can catch the attention of a pollinator that's very, very far away. Alright. So now the batteries are back, meaning what? Should we go back to see we'll go back to see the underground, the basement, if we can call it that. Not the basement in our house, the basement outside of our house. see about that, but I don't think we will get much further. I don't want to overextend, and the whole plan is to keep it fairly short so that it makes for an easy time. We are Thursday. There we go, we have a card we missed. A circle of life, so balanced and sublime. The Guardians have studied it since the beginning of time. Thanks to the leaves of a tree, sunlight becomes energy. Mycelium spreads it everywhere. What an incredible synergy. So today's Thursday, and I am leaving on Sunday, and we'll be coming back the following Friday. So that means between now and the time this video releases, I have about 3 days. Okay, so there really isn't much reason for us to come back here. So let's go have a look at the ferry. And then if we find what we're looking for, or if we don't even, I think we'll call it a day. But yes, it's a yearly thing I've been doing for quite a few years now. It's generally a solo trip. But the last 2 years, well, this one and the previous year, my parents thought it was such a good idea that they decided to join up. But this year, they went earlier, so they are already over there as I'm recording, and I will be joining them on Sunday. But they do not ski the same way I do. I do downhill skiing, they do cross-country skiing, so we're only together at the chalet. And well, so I'm still missing an extra battery, and it doesn't see. No, the symbol was the same, right? So can we? I see what it wasn't so much a way to restore power. We did not need to leave the battery there. It was simply a charger. That makes more sense. So we will post ourselves in front of the battery, and we will call it a day right here, just so we know. And it is, I will mention, it is an episodic game. So far, only episode 1 and 2 have been released. Episode 3 is technically coming soon enough, but I feel like that's a nice way for us to pace ourselves as we're playing the game. So anyway, we will stop here. I hope you will have a nice week. And I mean, I will say this even though it will release once everything is done, but I will at least minimally post pictures during my week up in the mountains. I will see about maybe posting a YouTube short, but once, I guess, this comes out, well, it will be all confirmed. But anyway, I hope you have enjoyed our time together. I hope you've been able to make the most out of our appointment. And as always, until our next appointment, be sure to slow down and to take care of yourselves. À la prochaine!